Hey, Amanda,
Yes.
can we make sure Clint's a panelist?
Okay.
Oh, wow. All right, Mr. City Manager, do you want to wait a minute and then we'll have you lead off?
All right, I think we can get started. Spencer, right?
Yes, sir.
Got everything? All right, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on this exciting webinar. First and foremost, I want to thank our city staff for putting together this this great informative session today. Spencer De La Cruz, our Economic Development Manager, Mary Seminole, Admin Analyst 3, and our Principal Engineer, Mr. Kevin Kwok. Welcome, everybody. Also want to mention a special guest today. Hopefully he'll chime in too. Councilmember Tanaka is here today too. So welcome, Councilmember. So we really wanted to put together this this informative session for everybody who's attending today, because we realize that businesses have been, for the lack of a better word, decimated by the effects of COVID, economic-wise, and they really need all the help that they can get. We want to make sure that the city really supports our businesses, and this webinar should really be a good start, a great start in ensuring that. So without further ado, I think I'll turn it over to staff, and in the end, I think we'll have some, hopefully we'll have some good questions to answer. So we can have an interactive session today. So Spencer, Mary, and Kevin, are you guys ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Sir.
Amanda, can you go ahead and put up the PowerPoint presentation for us?
Is Amanda here today too?
She is. She's in the background.
Oh, Amanda. Yeah, I wanna recognize Amanda Cunha too.
Thank you.
Thanks,
There you
Amanda.
go, Spencer.
Awesome. All right, go ahead, next slide. So one of the things that we always start off with on any webinar where we're educating our business community is to reiterate our vision, mission, and values. And our vision being ensuring Gardena is one of the most desirable communities to live, work, and play in the South Bay. And our mission being that Gardena is committed to maintaining an efficient government that ensures a level of safety, a level of quality of life, and attractive for a sound economic future. And our values reiterating that we want to ensure that we have a safe community environment, sustainable economic development, fiscal accountability, workforce excellence, and attractive livable neighborhoods. Amanda, next slide, please. So the reason, going back to what the city manager mentioned about ensuring that our businesses have every opportunity to capitalize on additional business, the city of Gardena is its own business. We operate with several different divisions, and all of them needing or requiring contracting services or supplies. We spend millions of dollars every year into our economy, and we want to ensure that our local business community is given an opportunity to work with us. And all of this business is competitive. So it's just a great opportunity, and we want to ensure that we're showcasing that to our business community. Next slide, Amanda. The different types of opportunities that are here at the city of Gardena, it's really broken down into 3 different areas. We've got commodities, which are things like office supplies, think staples, think, markers, think of everything that the city needs to operate on a day-to-day business, as well as things like computer equipment, networking equipment, whether it's police cars for our police department, whether it's trucks for our public works department. These are all things that the city is doing and buying for our day-to-day operations. Another component of type of opportunity that we have has to do with all of the construction aspects of the things that go on with the city of Gardena. A lot of that comes down to public infrastructure, what we're spending on sidewalks, what we're spending on streets, what we're spending on trees, maintenance of trees, all come down to different type of construction projects that the city has. And lastly, professional services, whether it's legal services, marketing services, medical services, or things that the city may need at the time. Something came up with recently with COVID is the need to work with testing companies and ensuring that they were here in the community. And that's just an additional type of service that came up as a need during the pandemic. And we were able to work with a local company to do that. And I think back on when the pandemic broke out, we reached out to a lot of our businesses to see if they could support our local business community as well as the city with PPE. And I'll give a really good example. Chemical Guys, which is a global worldwide brand on car cleaning supplies, stepped up to the plate to produce different type of hand sanitizers, different type of antibacterial soap. And that was just one example of how we were able to work with the local businesses based here in Gardena to assist us with what we needed at the time. Amanda, next slide, please. There's different ways that you can register as a vendor. And right now, in order to register as a vendor, you would submit a form to Mary Seminole, and she would put you on a vendor list. And there's a couple things that we would need in terms of information to ensure that you're placed on that vendor list. The first is your type of organization, whether you're a profit, nonprofit, public agency, however, whatever type of business you're in, we need to know and understand that. Then we also need the vendor information, and that's giving your full legal name as your vendor, whether you're LLC, company, corporation, your W-9 form, address, phone number, email address, social media handles, and then your business description. What type of business are you? Are you a restaurant? Are you a business that supplies video equipment for police departments? Tell us about the type of business and the type of commodities and services that you use. And that way, if there's numerous types of businesses or business types that you do or types of services that you do, the city can tap into that. And lastly, providing a copy of your Gardena business license. Right now, we're working on a way to incorporate this instead of filling out a form and submitting it to Mary, on having something added to our city website, which would essentially be a portal where you would add all this information and it would get electronically sent to us. And all of our departments here at City Hall will have the opportunity to log in there and view which type of businesses may meet the needs for that department at that time. So at this time, I'm going to turn the conversation over to Mary Seminole, who's going to give some information and background on the city's procurement process. Amanda, go ahead, next slide. All right, Mary, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Spencer. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. My name is Mary Seminole, and I handle procurement for the city. I'm in the finance department. Amanda, can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So we're going to talk a little bit about the city's process and how the city goes out and procures goods, services. We're going to start with RFPs, which are requests for proposals. The city takes requests for proposals generally when we have a contract that's valued over $50,000, and RFQs, which are requests for quotes. Anytime we make a purchase of over $2,000, we request 3 quotes for the service, unless it's a sole source or some type of a specialized service, in order to provide the opportunity for fair competition always. So if you're interested in doing business with the city, the best place to look is the city's website. Anytime we have a large contract that's going out to bid, it's advertised through a public notice. It's generally on the banner on our city website. But you can always contact me in the finance department and ask about becoming a vendor, as Spencer specified, and we'll be happy to add you to our vendor registry. So we're going to look at award criteria. The award criteria is after a request for proposal is completed, we look at the lowest and best responsive bid. Many times we're working with grant funds, and there's different qualifications and specifications that need to be met in order to receive the funding. So the lowest bidder that meets all of those qualifications generally would receive the contract. The city uses 2 platforms for larger procurements. Those platforms are Planet Bids and CR Planwell. The city finance department uses Planet Bids for bids on goods and services, and CR Planwell is used by our public works department because there are different specifications and requirements that need to be met in those types of projects. So once the projects go through the bid methods, we bring an item to our city manager, Clint Osorio, who then presents it to the city council and seeks their approval. Okay, Amanda, next slide, please. Basic contracting requirements. In order to do business with the city, you have to have a business license within the city of Gardena, a certificate of insurance, and if the bid is related to construction, there may be certain bonds that are required, as well as if the construction project is a value of over $1,000, then prevailing wage will need to be paid. All right, Amanda. So this is Planet Bids. The city uses Planet Bids, which is a free service to list all of the large procurements on. You can go to their website and register for free. The list is available. The list of our procurements is available on the city website. There's also a link to Planet Bids website. So when you go to that link and register on Planet Bids, you'll find opportunities not only in the city of Gardena, but opportunities that are specific to the service that you're offering. So let's say that you offer legal services for malpractice. If you put in that code any bid for those legal services would come up and you would be notified by email. So once you register, you're not only going to receive opportunities from the city of Gardena, you're going to receive opportunities from anyone that's registered on Planet Bids. You can request certification and apply for certifications, submit your compliance documents, and find subcontractors as well on Planet Bids. So we have a note there. All contracting opportunities over $50,000 will be through bids through Planet Bids. Amanda, next page, please. So here's Planet Bids vendor portal. Once you go to the city's website and click on the city's link for Planet Bids, this is the page that you're going to go to. What you're going to do here is create a new vendor registration and list the services that your business offers. We have highlighted bid opportunities because, as I've pointed out, you will receive bid opportunities not only from the city of Gardena, for all of the cities and businesses that are registered with Planet Bids. So it's a wonderful opportunity. And I'm going to, at this time, hand it over to Kevin Kwok in our Public Works Department.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Kwok, Principal Civil Engineer. I am primarily responsible for overseeing Public Works Engineering Division and Capital Improvement Projects, which is also known as a CIP, and private improvements in public right-of-way as well. It is my pleasure to have this opportunity to provide you with an overview of our public works projects and your opportunity to get involved. Next page, please. So Public Works Department is currently managing about 20 projects in design or constructions, which is equivalent to approximately $20 million in various trades of projects. However, the projects are primarily related to street improvements. Next page. So Public Works contracts. According to the California Public Contract Codes, all public works contracts exceeding $5,000 requires competitive bidding and award to the lowest responsible bidder. However, Gardena's procurement policy is more stricter with the contracts exceeding $2,000. So it supersedes the state code. That said, there are two contracting process, informal versus formal. For formal contract, City Council has adopted Resolution 6059 back in December 2012 to implement the California Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting, CUPCCA. This policy allows project costing up to $200,000 to be contracted by informal bidding procedures. The interest contractors can complete and pre-qualify applications. Then city maintains a list of qualified contractors who may be asked to informally bid on the public works projects valued up to $200,000 instead of a formal advertisement to all public. You can obtain additional CUPCCA information from city webpage. At this time, Amanda, can you click on the hyperlink? So this is our city webpage. You could get here through departments, public works, public contracts. It will lead you to this page. So it gives you a quick overview of the CUPCCA. And if you click on notice invitations, this invitation is updated at the beginning of every calendar year. Primarily, the information consists of where and who to submit the application to. So it's just an invitations. And we'll update this once again every calendar year. Amanda, can you click on the contractor's application form? So this is a 4-page application, pretty general informations. It's requiring you to fill out the contractor's informations, business informations, and license for different trades, and bonding and insurance information as well. And then the last page, there's 3 qualification questionnaire, and the applicant needs to certify the accuracy of the informations. So just follow the direction on the invitations and submit to the designated staff. So go back to the PowerPoint. So now I'll introduce to a formal contract process. Formal contracts are typically greater than $200,000. I say typically because city has an option to formalize any contract amount. One of the primary difference between the informal versus a formal is the advertisement. Informal, city has an option to exercise a California Uniform Public Contract method, as I described it earlier. For formal contract, city is required to advertise the project publicly for each project. And Gardena utilizes 3 platforms. 1, through local newspaper. 2, city webpage. 3, online bid advertising, CR Plan Well, as Mary had mentioned it earlier. So at this time, I'll give you a little bit more detailed information. So by clicking the city website, once again, we'll go back to the same page where we had the CUPCCA information. So if you scroll down a little bit, currently, we don't have any project that's out to bid, so we're not seeing anything under new bids or the bid deadlines. But if we did have a project out to bid, this is where you'll find the projects that are out for bid advertising. So basically, you'll be opening up an invitation to bid that consists of project information, engineer's estimate, project descriptions, so on and so forth. And below there, you'll see a bid results as well on the past project in recent months. So for example, Western Avenue Street Improvement Project was a project that was recently awarded by councils. Grant, can you click on that file? So on particular bid opening, we retained 7 bids, and Harley Hopper submitted the lowest bid at $1,167,000. So subsequently, we went to council for contract award, recommending Harley Hopper award. Can you close it and go back to a PPT? Can you go back to the PPT? Yes, thank you. So that sums up the city's informal and formal contract methods. For the next 2 slides, I will briefly go over our current projects in construction and design. Next slide. So these 4 projects are the projects that are currently in constructions. Project number 1, Western Avenue Street Improvement Project from Artesia to Redondo Beach Boulevard. The council has already awarded this project, and we are scheduled to start the construction at the end of this month. Project number 2, annual local street improvements at various locations, which covers about 15 residential street segments. The project construction has begun already at the beginning of this month, and it will continue on for the next 2 months. Project number 3, Raleigh Park Modular Restroom Building. This is a very unique project because it could be also under construction and design. Construction part of it is that modular building is going to be prefab buildings where the vendor has already started the fabrications. And we're also simultaneously working on the design plans for the site preparational work. So this will be an interesting project for a contractor with B license, an opportunity to bid the city project to prepare building pads, utility connections, and demo the existing restroom buildings. Project number 4, Masfukai Improvements Project. This project's almost finished, or probably about 2 weeks away. We're demoing existing shade structures and putting in new shade structures with some other amenities. So next slide, please. So current projects in planning and design. We're managing a variety of projects in coordination with other city departments. and outside agencies such as Metro, Caltrans, and Union Pacific Railroad. Here I listed 16 projects. I won't go over each project, but I'll highlight a few. Under streets, you'll see that project number 1, 2, 4 are nearly completion of the design. So if you're an interested contractor and may want to bid on the job, that you'll see the project coming in the next few months. For these street improvement projects that we're planning to, we're targeting a construction in summer of 2021. So under traffic, we have another project that's 100% design finished. And we'll be going out for a bid soliciting in the next month or two. It's a Vermont Avenue traffic signal upgrade at Redondo Beach and Rosecrans project. This project is about approximately $1.2 million project. And public facilities and parks, we have City Hall, Nakaoka Community Center roof reconstruction projects. I know in the past we have worked with local roofing contractors in the past. I hope they are interested in this project and participate in bidding. We'll be going out for a bid in probably a month or two as well. This is a project we're going to combine into one with City Hall and Nakaoka. And you'll notice that project number 13 and 16, we also have a master plan study projects. We require professional services from different landscape architect services and architects to help us identify future CIP projects and so that we could program the projects and put it in the CIP budgets. So that concludes my presentations, and I believe Spencer will open up for any questions on the next slides, and I'll be glad to assist in any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. And first, I want to thank all of the businesses that took the time out of their day to take part in this call. There's 88 cities here in LA County, and I can't tell you enough how much the city manager, our city council, and all of our city staff appreciate that you've chosen Gardena as a business, as a place to do business. Before I open it to questions, I believe there's a council member on the call, Council Member Rodney Tanaka. If he would like to speak, I'd like to open it up and give him the opportunity to speak.
Spencer, Councilmember Tanaka is on a the platform that doesn't have audio or video. He's listening in. He's very engaged, and he wants to learn more, but he's not able to communicate at this time.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. I'm going to turn it over to the public.
Spencer, I just got a message here. Mayor Pro Tem Henderson is also here, and let's see if he's got something to comment on our presentation today. Mayor Pro Tem.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let me get the video going. All right. Thank you. I want to say thank you for this information. It's vital information. We appreciate all the city staff and our colleagues on behalf of the council, Mayor Tasha Serta, Councilman Rodney Tanaka, Councilwoman Pauletta Francis, and Councilman Art Cascani, and myself, Mayor Pro Tem Henderson. We want to thank city staff for providing this information for the participants on this call. The goal of this for the council was to make sure that we provided opportunities for different businesses, within the city as well as within LA County, to figure out how they can do business with our city, similar to other cities around the LA County. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of what we were trying to do and the goal of the council in this process. So again, I want to thank city manager and staff for doing this. It's much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to echo Mayor Pro Tem's comments. Again, city staff is here to do our work. We're here every day. We're doing our jobs. We have our own jobs that we need to focus on, but but the bigger picture, sometimes the bigger picture comes from, you know, the higher power. And I do want to thank Mayor Tasa Serta and Mayor Pro Tem Henderson and all of our council members for providing us with guidance and insight as to what is really the bigger picture. So kudos to all of our council members, because Councilmember Tanaka is here today. As I said, his you know, audio and video is limited. I'm sure he'll chime in with me later on when we have an opportunity to talk. But yeah, I want to thank our city council, all of you for providing us to the input and the guidance for helping our, not only our residents, but our business community, our, you know, everyone in the city for making this a better place to live and do business. So I guess we're going to our Q&A now.
Yep. Let's turn it over to the public for some questions.
Okay. Let me go ahead and see. So it looks like we have one member of the public wishing to speak at this time. I just want to let everybody else know, if you would like to ask any questions or participate in the meeting, you can do so by using the raise your hand feature on Zoom. And if you're dialing in, you can dial *9, and that'll also prompt staff here to unmute you. So we'll go ahead and start. We have Wanda Love that has some questions. I'm going to go ahead and allow you to unmute yourself.
Hi, great presentation. One question: how are we getting this information out to those that would qualify to apply for these opportunities?
Sure. So I'll go ahead and answer that, Wanda. So as part of this Zoom meeting is first being recorded. You know, at the direction of the City Council, we wanted to make sure that all of our businesses have the opportunity to view this at any time. And should they have missed this meeting, they're going to be able to find it on our city website. We're blasting it out to all of our social media handles and channels. And we're also going to be doing an email blast that directs them to this recording, that should they wish to participate and engage the city in this opportunity, they'll have access to the presentation, access to the webinar, and we'll have access to all of our contact information should they want to get a hold of us. But great question, Wanda, thank you.
So I know that this is open to the public, but does the businesses located in the city of Gardena still get a bid preference?
Sorry, a preference?
In the past, I know Gardena Business Economic Advisory Council, GBAC board, had negotiated where the local businesses got a bid preference if they were based in the city of Gardena.
Mm-hmm.
To the Gardena dollars. Are we still offering that to the local businesses before we shop it out to everybody else?
Sure. And so I believe the process that Mary Seminole had led into earlier had, you know, if a vendor or a business is to register with the city, you know, we're looking to that list first. And then there is a 5% bid fee credit, but, you know, that's really on some of the larger projects. That's on projects that are federally funded, and there's some requirements there, but that is also available to businesses should they want to apply and compete for that.
Okay.
We do have a few questions on the chat panel, so I'm gonna go ahead and read off the chat. You guys don't mind?
Go for it.
So this is from Ms. Evelyn Perez. This has to do with type of opportunities for construction. So the question is, how are small businesses supposed to service Gardena if the city is only giving contracts to certain qualifying companies? This makes it difficult for other companies to service Gardena. The city is only allowing certain companies to provide services. This does not allow to have competitive prices on the market if there's one company servicing the area. For example, roll-off companies are being affected. There might be competitive bidding, but that is different from competitive sales prices.
Kevin, do you want to take that one on?
Sure. Amanda, if you could go to a page 14. Right there. So, I didn't get a chance to go over the CR Planwell platform. As I mentioned it earlier, City utilized 3 platforms to advertise the project. One, local newspapers. Second, city website. So I did cover the city webpage, but I didn't get a chance to go over the CR Planwell, another platform, web-based platform. Before we go into the CR platform, Amanda, you can click on the link. But we have in the recent years worked with our local contractors on various projects. I think I mentioned one of them, roofing project. We did a roofing project that was about $50,000 job, and we reached out to. We didn't advertise it to every group in the state. Basically, we looked at our short list on the CUPCCA, and there were 3 roofing contractor vendor on the list. So we reached out to them and gave them an opportunity first to bid on the job. So our local City of Gardena addressed the business was awarded with the contract. So there's an example there. Now, this is a web page platform that we use to advertise the project. And go ahead and click on the public plan room. One more down, public plan room, right there. So this is a platform where you can obtain all the projects that are out to bid, not just by City of Gardena, but various cities and school districts as well. And if you click on, Amanda, in all company pull down right there, one next to it, no, there you go. So you'll see on the top list, Anaheim Elementary School, City of Buena Park, City of Fullerton, Costa Mesa, Whittier, and on and on and on. We don't have a project currently out to bid, so you won't see Gardena on this list yet. But as soon as we have a project out to bid, you'll see Gardena on this list. So let's just use the City of Buena Park as an example. Go ahead and click on Buena Park. So in here, they have 2 projects out to bid right now. I mean, there might be more scrolling down, but so basically it consists of project description and the bid due dates and post dates and company that's posting this project informations. And you'll see under the project descriptions, engineer's estimates. And also, Amanda, if you could click on the project number. And let's click on notice of inviting bids. Go ahead and click that document. So our invitation is very similar to many other city agencies. This is an invitation to this particular project, and it has the when you need to submit the bids by, and and who to submit to, and when it's due. And it probably has a project scope of work description there. I see it there. So this is the invitations, and if you could close this window. Now, that's the only information you can obtain up to if you haven't registered with the CR Planwell. So I highly recommend that all the business owners who are viewing this Zoom meeting right now to register with CR Planwell. Also register with Bid Planet as well, that Mary had mentioned earlier, so that you'll get an alert from CR Planwell when City of Gardena has a project out to bid. You'll get an alert that City of Fullerton has a street improvement project, soliciting a project. So you'll get an email alert, and you'll be able to get detailed information on each projects, and you'll be able to download for free all the plans and spec. I believe they charge for print order, but you could download the electronic document for free. So that's a platform that we use, like I said before. But obviously, if you're small businesses, local small businesses, I highly also recommend taking advantage of the CUPCCA and fill out the applications. We'll keep track of the businesses, And that will be our first preference before we advertise it to all groups. We'll look at the short list first, and then we'll solicit a bid invitations. Hopefully that helps and that answers your questions as well.
Hey, Kevin, that's a great explanation on how this thing works. I do want to add one thing too. I believe the question that answered most of the questions, but I think there is a type of contract that the city gives out to specific businesses only. That's what's called a franchise agreement. So I want to use an example of waste haulers, for instance. Waste haulers have to be selected to be able to perform the service of collecting waste throughout the city. So in that particular instance, we can only give one contract to one company because you don't want 4 or 5 different waste haulers running around the city collecting from different neighborhoods and different streets and whatnot. So as a requirement, there really is should be one waste hauler assigned to the city. And also, giving them a contract for a long period of time allows them to, capitalize on those contracts and leverage that into making infrastructure improvements in their facility or their equipment, such as, the trucks that they use and the equipment that they use to pick up the trash. So hopefully that answers that side of the question, because I think the question also asks about, roll-off companies. The similar thing, we typically give one contract to one company to streamline and make sure that there's only one responsible company that's doing that particular service to our residents here. We have another question, and this is from Councilmember Tanaka. So when choosing a bid, is the cheapest is always the best? What protocols are in place to assure the choice is the best? I think that's going to be for Mary.
We're looking at bids. We're looking at the lowest, best qualified bid. So there may be an instance when the lowest bid is either not qualified or you're not comparing apples to apples. So say if you have a bid out there and you're looking at designing something, and one person is not going to meet the specifications of the design that you've asked for, but their bid is going to be cheaper. And then someone meets all of the specifications and the bid is higher, but it's inclusive and meets all of the qualifications. So the short answer is no. The lowest bid is not always going to win. It's going to be the lowest responsive bid that comes and meets all of the qualifications.
All right, thank you, Mary. So we're going to the next question. This is from Eubin. My company plans to manufacture industrial cleaning products, including cement and asphalt cleaning products. Is there an opportunity to do business with the city? Do we have somebody that can respond to that? I believe it's got to be some kind of
everyone, there's an opportunity to do business with the city. If they will send me, or Spencer's email is on the information here, the products that they're offering and their contact information, we'll get back to them and register them and their products.
Yeah, and Clint, to add on that, I think Eubin's question is a really good one. And I'll give an example of how we can assist businesses. There's a company called Tesoro Products that recently launched a business here in Gardena, and they sell different type of water fixtures for homes. And they reached out to us and they said, hey, we sell, sink fixtures, we sell bathroom fixtures. How can we kind of help market ourselves? And can you assist introducing us to some of the developers in the area that are building projects? And so one of the things that we can do for Eubin and for some of the businesses on the call is that if they reach out to us and communicate what they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish, we work with so many different businesses in the city. We're well aware of how we can kind of put businesses together where they can assist each other. And I think Euban's question on asphalt and cleaning products doesn't necessarily just apply to Gardena, the city of Gardena. I can see a lot of different businesses that just are on the top of my head that can use that service. So I would encourage everyone to reach out to us, and we can assist you in that.
Also, as long as you're, the manufacturing of the items that you're manufacturing meets and oftentimes exceeds regulatory compliance agencies requirements as far as what how you produce them. So chemicals and whatnot, it's not our place to say yes or no. You'd have to go to the appropriate regulatory body to get approvals for manufacturing those. All right, moving on to the next question. This is from Minping Fu. If we have a product that we believe the city can use, how and who should we approach? That goes to Spencer.
Yeah, my contact information is here, Ming. I would encourage you to reach out to us. Again, I think Mary made a really good point that we can get you on that registry, and that registry is communicated to all city departments. So if there is whatever product you intend to showcase, and if we have a use for it, your information will get blasted out to all of the different departments here, and they'll have the ability to see if they have a use for that.
Great, thank you. And the last question I have is from Antoinette Garlington. Two questions. Is there a particular certificate of insurance, and is the vendor application the same for Planet Bids?
I can answer that. The certificate of insurance simply shows that the business has the minimum required insurance, and your insurance agent should be able to provide that form to you. The registration for being a vendor in the city of Gardena is different than the registration for Planet Bids. My suggestion would be to get in contact with Spencer to let him know what business or services you're offering. And then as well, to go to Planet Bids. You can reach Planet Bids through our website. There is a link to direct you there, and register your business so that you receive notifications for contracts that are related to the services you offer.
Okay, thank you, Mary. I don't see any other questions in the chat forum at this time, but for anybody who's listening in, if you think about any questions at all or anything that you might have input or questions after our webinar here, you could always call or email Spencer. His number is right here on the screen, right in front of you, and shoot that email, or give him a call, and he'll be happy to interact and ask any questions you may have. At this point, do we still have anything else on the queue, Spencer?
No, I would just add one more thing, Clint. So many of our businesses have found our new website for economic development so supportive in finding information. And I would encourage everyone to visit GardenaAwaits.com. I think you're going to learn a lot about the businesses, especially the new businesses that are operating here. And I would encourage everyone to use that as a resource as well. But thank you, Clint.
All right. So anything else? I think we've covered it all. So again, so everybody that's present today, to the public, to our staff that's here, thank you very much for making this happen. This means a lot to our community. If need be, we'll have more of these things from time to time, and we'll schedule them. It doesn't take too much to make this happen. So whatever it takes to help out our community, we'll do it. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.